When my mother-in-law came the day after my husband left, she said, "No man stays with a woman who looks like a pig." She was standing at my door the day after my husband Adam moved out, and she was smiling like she'd won something while I stood there in my work clothes still processing that my 8-year marriage was over. "You really thought you could keep him looking like that?" I told him for years he could do better, but he felt sorry for you. The pity finally ran out. She pushed past me into what was still technically my house. Adam needs his golf clubs, the ones you made him keep in the garage because you said they cluttered the house. A real wife would display her husband's interest proudly. I'd asked him to keep them in the garage because he had 17 sets and never used them. "Your son left because he said we grew apart. This has nothing to do with golf clubs." She laughed and it was cruel. "Grew apart? He left because you're repulsive. You gained 40 pounds since the wedding. You wear the same shapeless clothes every day. You don't even wear makeup anymore. What did you expect?" I'd gained weight because of thyroid cancer treatment, but she knew that and didn't care. I was fighting cancer. Adam said he understood. She rolled her eyes. "Men say lots of things to avoid drama, but watching you balloon up and lose your hair was disgusting. He'd come to my house and cry about how repulsive you'd become. I told him to leave you then, but he waited until you were healthy so he wouldn't look bad. My husband had held my hand through chemo and told me I was beautiful. He said he loved me no matter what." His mother walked to the kitchen and started opening cabinets. "Love? He loved who you were at 25, slim and eager to please. You're 36 now and look 50. Your skin is loose, your body is ruined. You walk like an old woman. He deserves someone who takes care of themselves." I followed her as she inventoried my kitchen. "Taking care of myself? I had cancer. I survived cancer." She turned on me fast. "You survived, but at what cost? You're damaged goods now. No man wants a woman with medical baggage. Adam's trying to date again, and every woman he meets is younger, prettier, healthier than you. We'd been trying for children for 5 years before my diagnosis. The doctor said I can still have children after treatment." She laughed again. "With what man? You think anyone else will want you? Adam was your only chance and you ruined it by getting sick and fat and ugly. This is entirely your fault." She pulled out her phone. "Look at the women on dating apps. Size 2s, yoga instructors, no medical issues, no surgical scars, no medication schedules. This is what men want. Adam's already matched with dozens." I looked at the screen. "He made a dating profile already?" She nodded proudly. I helped him write it. 6'2" successful businessman seeking healthy, attractive woman for fresh start. Hundreds of matches in 2 days. All better than you. She walked upstairs to the bedroom and I followed. "Adam paid for this house with his job. You contributed nothing. Housewives are supposed to at least be attractive. You failed at your only job. I'd worked full time until cancer. Used my entire savings for treatment when insurance wouldn't cover everything. I paid half of everything until I got sick." She opened my closet and started critiquing my clothes. "These rags? No wonder he left. Sweatpants, t-shirts, not a single dress. You dress like a homeless person. They were comfortable clothes for recovering from surgery. Where's the lingerie? The pretty things wives wear for their husbands?" She pulled out drawer after drawer. "Cotton underwear, sports bras. This is what killed your marriage. This laziness, this letting yourself go." She moved to the bathroom and picked up my medications. 15 pills a day. Who wants to wake up next to a pharmacy? The women Adam's dating take vitamins. That's it. Just vitamins. They're pure, healthy, not walking medical disasters. She threw my medications back on the counter. "Adam's attorney will be in touch about the divorce. He's claiming irreconcilable differences, but we all know the difference is you became disgusting while he stayed perfect." She headed back downstairs. "The golf clubs?" I pointed to the garage. She loaded them into her car, then came back. "Adam wanted me to get his grandmother's ring back, the one he wasted on you. You don't deserve family heirlooms." I wasn't wearing it because my fingers had swelled from medication. "It's in the safe. He knows the code." She pushed past me again to get it. 8 years of his prime wasted on you. He could have had children by now with someone worthy. Instead, he got a barren, sick pig who couldn't even stay thin for him. She took the ring and examined it. "I'll have it cleaned and saved for someone who deserves it. Your diseased hands contaminated it." She walked back to her car. "By the way, Adam's already planning to propose to whoever he dates next. He wants kids immediately. No more wasting time on defective women." She drove away and I stood there shaking. 3 months later, she called me crying. Nothing. The stress of dating was too much. All those women rejecting him once they met in person. He's gained 60 pounds from depression. I still said nothing. He's scared. Alone. The medical bills are enormous. His insurance barely covers anything. I finally spoke. Full story on channel. Link below.
My sister refused to allow my 17-year-old daughter at her wedding because she was underage. I didn't protest. I simply replied that we wouldn't be coming. My younger sister, Lauren, had always been the center of attention in our family. Growing up, that never really bothered me. She was outgoing, social, and somehow managed to get everyone excited about whatever was happening in her life. So when she got engaged, nobody was surprised that the wedding quickly became the biggest family event of the year. My daughter Ava was 17 at the time, and she was probably more excited than anyone. She spent months helping Lauren with wedding preparations, running errands, comparing decorations, and listening to endless conversations about venues, flowers, and guest lists. For a while, everything seemed perfectly normal. Then one afternoon, Lauren invited me to lunch. At first, we talked about work, family, and wedding plans. Then she suddenly put her fork down and said, "There's something I need to tell you." I looked up. "What is it?" She avoided eye contact. "We've decided the wedding will be adults only." I frowned. "Adults only?" She nodded. "No guests under 18. It took me a second to realize what she meant. Ava is 17. I know. She turns 18 in 4 months. I know. I stared at her. "She's your niece." Lauren sighed. "We just want a sophisticated atmosphere." I sat there for a moment trying to process what I was hearing. Ava wasn't a troublemaker. She was responsible, respectful, and honestly more mature than a lot of adults I knew. I asked one question. "Does Ava know?" "No." I nodded. "Good." Lauren looked relieved. "I knew you'd understand." I paid for my lunch, stood up, and left. That evening, Ava asked if I had bought my suit for the wedding yet. I sat down across from her at the kitchen table. "Sweetheart, we're not going." She looked confused. "What happened?" I told her exactly what Lauren had said. Nothing more, nothing less. Ava sat quietly for several seconds. Then she simply nodded. "Okay." That one word hit harder than any argument could have. After that, she never mentioned the wedding again. A week later, Lauren called. "Have you booked your hotel room yet?" "No." "What do you mean no? We won't need one." There was silence. Then she said, "Wait, you're serious?" "Of course. You said okay." I said, "Your wedding, your rules. Then why aren't you coming?" I couldn't believe she was asking. "If my daughter isn't invited, neither am I." Lauren immediately became frustrated. "So you're choosing your daughter over your sister?" "Yes." The call ended shortly afterward. Over the next few weeks, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. My mother called. My aunt called. A couple of cousins called. Every conversation sounded exactly the same. "It's only one day. Lauren is stressed. Can't Ava stay home?" Nobody seemed concerned about how Ava felt. I stopped explaining myself. I simply repeated the same sentence. "If Ava isn't welcome, neither am I." Eventually, people stopped arguing. Then family members started asking questions of their own. Many of them knew how much Ava had helped with the wedding. They knew she had spent months supporting Lauren. The more people learned, the worse Lauren looked. A few relatives quietly decided not to attend. Not because I asked them to, because they didn't agree with what she had done. The wedding day finally arrived. arrived. Instead of attending, Ava and I drove several hours to visit a university that had accepted her. We toured the campus, walked through dorm buildings, and talked about her future. It ended up being one of the best days we'd spent together in a long time. That evening, my phone filled with wedding photos and family messages. I ignored every one of them. 2 days later, Lauren showed up at my house. The moment I opened the door, she said, "You made me look terrible. Not hello, not how are you, just that." I stayed in the doorway. "You did that yourself." Her expression hardened. "I can't believe you'd skip your own sister's wedding." I looked at her calmly. "I can't believe you'd exclude your own niece." Neither of us spoke for a few seconds. Then she shook her head. "You chose a child over family." I nodded. "Exactly." She left angry. That was the last meaningful conversation we ever had. A month later, Ava turned 18. Among the birthday cards was one from Lauren. Inside was a generic message and a $50 gift card. Ava opened it, read it, and slid everything back into the envelope. Then she dropped it into a drawer and moved on with her day. She never called Lauren, never texted her, never acknowledged it, and honestly, neither did I. Lauren got the adults-only wedding she wanted. She got the beautiful venue, the perfect photos, and the sophisticated atmosphere she cared so much about. What she didn't get was the relationship she threw away to make it happen. Because the moment she decided my daughter wasn't family enough to attend her wedding, she stopped being family enough to matter. When did someone make fun of you and instantly regret it? I grew up in a household where the internet was for lazy people, and smartphones would ruin your social skills, which made buying my little sister an iPhone feel like giving a vegetarian kid their first Big Mac. My parents aren't in a cult, they just genuinely believe technology rots your brain. So at 18, I was handwriting job applications like it was 1952 while everyone else applied online. But when my sister Rachel turned 12 and came home sobbing because she was the only kid in 6th grade without social media, I knew exactly how it felt to be the weird one. 3 months of ramen dinners and 40-hour work weeks later, she had an iPhone 12 with unlimited data because I refused to let her suffer through the same analog childhood I did. Fast forward to now. I just graduated with a computer science degree and moved back home temporarily while job hunting. Reasonable, right? Apparently not to Rachel, now 16 and apparently suffering from selective amnesia. Day 3 after moving back. Must be nice to have a 4-year vacation just to end up in your childhood bed. I laughed it off. She was a teenager, they're supposed to be jerks. Week 1. Hey everyone, meet my brother. Proof that college is a scam. This gem was delivered at dinner while I was literally on my laptop applying to jobs. By week 2, she'd upgraded to filming content. I'd be eating lunch and she'd walk by recording day 14 of my brother mooching off our parents. The irony? She posted this on the iPhone I still paid for. $90 a month throughout college, I'd eaten PB&J for dinner more times than I could count to keep her connected. Week 3 brought her masterpiece, parasitic leech. It wasn't just the word, it was how she said it, like I was something she'd scrape off her shoe. She started using it daily. Morning, parasitic leech. Parasitic leech. Mom says dinner's ready. Can the parasitic leech move? I need the couch. Then came the Snapchat incident. I was filling out an application for a junior developer position. Good company, decent pay, exactly what I'd worked for. Rachel walked behind me, phone raised. Hey, parasitic leech. Mom wants to know if you'll be living here forever. She said it loud enough to echo through the house and posted it to her story with crying, laughing emojis. Her friends commented things like savage and your brother's such a bum. That's when I noticed the Verizon app notification on my phone. Monthly payment due $90 for her line. In that moment, I just smiled and closed my laptop. But inside, I was done playing the generous older brother to an ungrateful brat. I opened my Verizon app and stared at the account I'd been managing since I was 18. Every detail confirmed what I already knew. This wasn't just her phone. It was my phone that I let her use. iPhone 12, which I'd been paying off for years. The line was under my credit, my responsibility, my property. She'd had this phone since she was 12 because I couldn't bear to watch her be excluded. Now she was using it to humiliate me to her followers. Time for a reality check. Next morning, I walked into her room while she was mid-scroll on Instagram. Hey sis, we need to talk. She didn't even look up, just muttered, "What, parasitic leech?" I held out my hand. "I need my phone back." Her head snapped up like I'd slapped her. The disbelief on her face was almost comical as I explained it was my phone. I bought it, paid for it, and my name is on the account. She clutched it desperately, ranting about her friends, her streaks, her photos. "Actually, I need to sell it," I said, keeping my voice casual. Apparently this leech needs to save money to move out. The irony wasn't lost on either of us. She'd been calling me broke while texting on my dime. Should have thought about that before publicly humiliating the person paying her bill. I took the phone and handed her mom's old flip phone, the same kind I'd used growing up. "Here, for emergencies." She stared at it like it was radioactive. The look on her face when she realized it didn't have apps, just Snake and a calculator, priceless. She actually asked how to text on it, and I had to explain T9 like I was teaching ancient history. When she whimpered that this was abuse, I just shrugged. No, this is what I experienced. Welcome to 2007, Rachel. 2 weeks later, she actually apologized. Genuinely. Turns out, living without social media gives you time to think. Crazy concept, right? She admitted she didn't realize how much I'd sacrificed, so I gave her the phone back after a month, but kept it in my name. Now when she sees me job hunting, she brings me coffee instead of content.